Hey guys, welcome back to another week of Autastic, Comedian's Guide to Autism. I'm one of your hosts. My name is Kirk Smith, and my co-host and buddy
Graham K. Hello, everybody. Took a couple weeks off because we were both touring so much, and it's good to be back. It's good to be back talking to the autistics out there. Good to hear Kirky's voice. I missed you, buddy. I understand you're feeling.
Missed you, man.
I missed you too. I understand you're feeling a little under the weather. Is that true?
Can't catch a break. Had a fever. Went to go see JJ for his birthday. A long-time listeners know. December 2nd. Caught a fever out there. It was minus 22 degrees, and it was
Fahrenheit
cold.
or Celsius?
Doesn't matter, man. Doesn't matter. I'm joking.
It's true. It's true.
That's one of my favorite jokes. Celsius. It was very cold. That's and we had a pretty good birthday. It's always bittersweet, but it was good. It was good.
What's bittersweet
I think
about
over
it?
the Legos. He's getting old. No other family there. What else was bitter?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if he knows that, it's his birthday. He's not super excited about, anything like that. So we did the tie-dye again. We've been doing tie-dye the last 4 years.
I saw that. Yeah, he likes the tie-dye.
Yeah, sort of. I feel like I'm twisting his arm to do that, to spend some time with his old man. So
yeah.
I'm on the hunt again for something else that he might like. So he was in and out.
Well, the waterfalls are frozen, so you got to wait until April.
We couldn't do the waterfalls. It was too cold. Minus 22. Crazy how cold that is. And
well, I know. I grew up in that
isn't it cold in New York City? And I'm like, yeah, but it's like 0 Celsius. It's not like minus 22. That's colder.
People think New York is really cold. It's not.
Well, people act like anything under like 40 it's all the same. Well, it's like, there's levels to it. Once you get past that, once you get into the minus double digits, it's pretty cold. Bits of your nose hurt. Ears
As
hurt,
a Canadian,
hurt.
New York does not have a real winter. I will tell you that
Really?
right now. No, it is not a real winter. It snows twice a year and it melts right away. That's not a real winter. Real winter is when the snow comes in mid-December, late December, and it stays on the ground, and you cannot see the sidewalk pavement. You can't see the concrete on the sidewalk until late March. That is what winter is. You cannot see the sidewalk. The snow doesn't go, and your face hurts when you go outside. And then you
heard it here first, here, guys.
Yeah.
Father Christmas has spoken.
This is not a real winter. If it was minus 22 centigrade in New York, it would be national news. It would be everywhere. People would be complaining. I mean, it's they don't even have any proper snow plows. It doesn't get you don't have real winter in your town if your version of a snow plow is a garbage truck that has a plow bolted on the front temporarily. If you don't have real snow plows only for snow plowing that only come out for winter, you're not a winter city. I'm sorry.
That's funny.
Anyway, that's rant over.
Father Christmas over here has strong opinions.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even though I don't have any kids, I'm turning into a dad, just complaining.
I think you're skipping dad. You're going straight to grandpa.
Straight to grandpa, sure. Yeah, my back's sore. I don't know. I think that's
you
what
got surgeries coming up.
I got surgery. I got hips. I do. I have hip surgery coming up January 18th. I'm working like a dog to save money because I won't be able to work for 2 months after the surgery. So I'm like, I drove 23 hours in 72 hours.
Now the surgery was scheduled once before and canceled. This one's going to go through for sure. You're thinking?
Yeah, I need it. I tried. I wish I didn't cancel last time. I had time blocked off, and I canceled anyway because someone got in my head about you don't need surgery. Somebody who's not a doctor, someone who's avoid surgery at all costs, blah, blah, blah. Who doesn't know my injury? Anyway, now I'm going to miss opening for Nate Bargatze where the Toronto Raptors play in Toronto.
Yeah, it's
I was so excited. That's
bananas.
20,000 people. I was so excited for that, and I'm going to miss it because I'll be recovering. But that's okay. That's okay. Things will be fine. I'll be back. I'll feel good in like 3-4 months. I'll be back to doing my windmill slam dunks.
Your video games.
In my video games, on my Nerf basket above my bathroom door. But anyway, yeah. But speaking of surgery, speaking of broken
Ooh.
bones, big update on Pete. He was walking to work a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and he slipped on some ice and shattered his ankle. He
Ugh.
lay on the ground and tried to get up, couldn't get up, and people walking their dog had to help him and called an ambulance. And then they contacted my parents. They went to the hospital, and he went. They sedate. They gave him painkillers, did X-rays. He had to come. He had to stay there for a night, and then he got surgery the next day.
Wow.
And he has a bunch of like bolts and metal plates in his foot. And then he was home a few hours after surgery with the new cast on, and then he and crutches, and then he got he just got the cast off 3 weeks later, and now he's got a
Okay.
boot, like a walking boot, but he's not allowed to walk on it for like another
Yeah.
month or so, month and a half. So he's sort of just he's in good spirits. He's at home. It's back to the COVID level of calling me,
Okay.
'cause he's bored. He doesn't have his job, and when he doesn't have his job, that means I'm his job.
I know
So
it's a shame they couldn't coordinate the Grandma brothers' surgeries. That'd have been perfect.
that would have been perfect. We could FaceTime all day. But yeah, he's doing okay. He's in remarkable spirits, I will say. I also think that like he is something about I'm sure this is connected to his autism. He is tough. Physically tough. He doesn't feel things. Like we've talked in the past about how this is a common thing with people with autism is he like will if his calendar says he doesn't feel heat or cold the same way we do, and I think he doesn't feel pain the same way we do.
Okay.
Like, and I know I broke my ankle in 2019 doing one of my windmill slam dunks, and I was playing basketball, but I was going for a rebound and someone jumped underneath me, but it's fine. I broke my ankle, did not need surgery, luckily, but it was less of an injury than Peter, and I was like in a lot of pain. Like every morning for like 3 weeks when I got out of bed and I put my foot on the ground and the blood went down there, it hurt so much.
Huh.
And it hurt so much when I broke it. And Peter is just like, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. It doesn't hurt like it did when I broke it, so I'm fine. He's just tough. And yeah, so it's interesting, and I'm lucky. We're lucky that he is such a positive guy, a hard worker, not a complainer. He's just not I'm a complainer. I love to complain. This guy
Little attention. Little attention.
never complains. Never complains.
That's fine.
It's amazing. But he's he's got he's just staying in his apartment, and it's a struggle to get him to do new stuff. I'm trying to get him to play the video games, the Nintendo Switch I bought him, and I'm like, okay, I'm coming home for Christmas. Let's bring the Nintendo Switch when you come over, because he's gonna stay with my parents while I'm there so we'll all be in the same house for 4 days. Normally he just stays the night Christmas Eve, but because of his broken leg, and I think he's excited to stay and hang out. But anyway,
Nice.
I'm trying to get him to
Nice.
bring the Nintendo Switch, and he won't do it. I'm like, put it in the Nintendo Switch so we can play together. And he's like, no, Graham, I don't want to. I'm like, it'll be fun. We'll hook it up to the TV. We can play. And he's like, no, I don't want to unhook everything. I'm like, all right, so you can use it in the portable mode. Just bring the portable mode, and we can play it on the tiny screen. He's like, I don't want to do it. And I had to like talk to him for 15 minutes and convince him. And he finally was like, all right, I'll bring it. I'll bring the Nintendo Switch for Christmas so we can play. And then he was like, we were talking about something else, and he goes, Graham, I have to interrupt you. I do not want to bring the Nintendo Switch. I don't know. I'm like, why? And he won't tell me why. He can't tell me why. He just doesn't want to do it, and I don't know why. But it's a struggle to get him to do new stuff. And chipping away. But I will say, for Christmas this year, I got him everything he wanted. I got him 5 expensive vintage in-package Spider-Man figurines. So it's it'll be good. It'll be good to watch him not be disappointed.
If these nerds who hoarded this in their mother's basements for all these years only knew what he does to the packaging, they would.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Probably shed a tear.
Every Christmas a nerd loses his wings.
That's funny. That's really funny. That's my favorite movie. Christmas movie. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. But
that's really funny. Yeah. I got him. I thought he would, for JJ for his birthday. I thought he would really like. I found Thomas the Tank. Little engines, or what are those called? I guess, engines, and well, there's little characters, right? There's Thomas, there's, I can't even remember.
Sure.
There's a caboose that's called something. So I got the caboose. There's like Carrie or something. There's some girl. There's a female one that's one of the what do you call these? Like cabin? Not cabs. Cabs? No. What are the carriages? It's carriages? Yeah, I don't know.
Car.
So I got him all these little individual ones, and then we opened them, and then I put him on his little dresser he looked at him for 1 second. I'm like, okay, well, I guess that was not what he wanted.
Yeah. Does it come with a track?
It's hard to know. No, it didn't come with a track, but they do hook up with each other. And, I guess maybe I should have got the track. Maybe that was the thing. He's had
Does
the
he
track
watch
before.
that show?
Yeah, he watches that show.
Mm.
So I thought he might be like, I'm like, it's Thomas Tank, but nothing.
It's tough.
So back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
Back to the drawing board. I did get him a Nerf gun, which he usually likes Nerf guns. We end up losing all the little Nerf dart bullets, but so he's got that for Christmas and a couple other big ones that. But yeah, it was
that'll be
tough
a hit.
Sometimes it's tough to bar for. Yeah, hopefully that'll be a hit. It'll be a hit. Although it is Sweden, so they're mixed on guns. Like some of the ladies think it's too violent. Well, I'm like, it is Nerf, so I think he'll survive. I think he'll be okay through this one. But
that's funny. They think it's too violent. I'm like, your ancestors were Vikings, right?
Yeah, no guns though. I'm like, yeah, just spears and sexual assault.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it's true. No guns.
Yes.
But
well, are you so? Are you? Do you go back for Christmas too, or no?
No, I'm not going to make it this year. I'm in. I will be in California for a day and a half. Yeah, I'm traveling too much. I've decided I'm going to try to travel a little less. So hopefully.
Yeah. Mental health.
Yeah, I'm doing too much. Yeah.
You're saving money for retirement. You'll be okay.
Yes, I'll be okay. It's gonna be okay.
You'll be fine. You're doing great.
Yeah.
Mental health. Stay in New York. For you
So
stay in your
that's what I gotta
nice
do.
apartment. Kirk's got a great apartment in a great neighborhood, in New York, and
Wait,
he
need some decoration help, and I'll be done.
yeah, I felt we've helped each other. I've helped you a bit, and yeah, it's coming together. The place looks good. You
Slowly,
bought
slowly, slowly.
Kirk. Kirk, I'll tell you what. Kirk has uh, a washing machine in New York City, in unit washing machine. I mean, that is
Big win. Big win.
that's like that's like in a regular city. That's like having
It's like having a
a
two-car
cabin.
garage.
Yeah, a 2-car
Or a
garage.
cabin, yeah.
A second home. It's a big status symbol, so you'll be all right.
Nobody knows about, but
Um,
I definitely get my use out of it. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
mhm.
We found a very interesting article that covers what we've talked about quite a bit lately, which we've talked about
Yeah,
severe autism, which is what affects JJ, and the need for the need to highlight it. A little surprise for Grandma. But that author that Jill Escher interviewed that we played last week for the severe autism, highlighting her daughter's autism. This is what it's talking about: the difference between severe autism versus autism that Bill Gates has, or Elon Musk talks about his autism or whatever. Yeah, big difference. Graham found this one. Take it away,
yeah.
buddy.
The new word is profound. Profound autism that they want you to say, but the autism community, as we all know, is divided. And this is an article in the Washington Post by Catherine Ellison that came out November 18th of 2023. And it's titled, "A Rift Over Profound Autism Reveals a Community's Deeper Divide." Amid a burgeoning neurodiversity movement, some say autistic children who are nonverbal and intellectually disabled are being left behind. Public perceptions of autism have come far in the 80 years since Austrian-American scientist Leo Kanner first described a neurodevelopmental childhood disorder causing an innate inability to form the usual biologically provided contact with people. Against a backdrop of burgeoning neurodiversity movement portraying wide variations of human behavior as differences, not deficits, many autistic adults have come to see their traits as a gift and source of pride. Yet parents such as Maria Leary, the mother of two autistic nonverbal sons, one of whom frequently injured himself and others before his injures one whom frequently injured himself and others before his death in 2018, fear the neurodiversity revolution is leaving her family behind. You see happy videos of these great accomplishments of people with autism who go to work and play in basketball games, says Leary, who is also a New Jersey disability consultant. And, of course, that's what I want for my kids. But that's not my reality. Leary is on one side of a debate that probably will heat up in coming months as advocates seek different outcomes from Congress's review of the Autism Collaboration Accountability Research Education and Support Autism Cares Act of 2019. At the heart of the divide is a deceptively simple phrase: profound autism. Parents such as Leary believe recognizing some people as having profound autism would help target more research and support for children like theirs who are nonverbal, intellectually disabled, and in need of constant supervision. In a paper in the Journal of Public Health Reports this year, researchers estimate that nearly 27% of the 20,000 autistic 8-year-olds whose records they analyzed could be categorized as having profound autism. Leaders of the Autistic Self-Advocacy Network however, reject the phrasing, calling it dangerous and misleading. We are concerned about the human and legal rights of the people who would be so labeled, ASN Executive Director Julia Bassam said in an email. Devoting funds to profound autism, she wrote, would result in research aiming to prevent or cure autism and focus on more restrictive services. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that 1 in 36 U.S. children, roughly 2 million, and some 5.4 million adults have autism spectrum disorder. While the causes aren't well understood, some scientists believe it runs in families. No link has been found between autism and vaccines. We know that. Until 2013, clinicians diagnosed people with any one of 4 distinct categories of autism, including Asperger's syndrome, called high-functioning autism by some, and childhood disintegrative disorder, a rarer and more debilitating condition. But following a major revision that year in the Diagnosis and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, a key clinical guidebook, those separate disorder diagnoses have consolidated as autism spectrum disorder. As a co-founder, the president of the Autism Science Foundation, former network TV executive Allison Singer, is a leader in the effort to distinguish these points on the spectrum. Singer says there's an urgent need for more specialized care for people like her daughter, Jordy, 26, who has been diagnosed with autism. Her mother says she is also intellectually disabled, minimally verbal, and often pulls her hair, bangs her head, and lashes out at others. Alison Singer also wants to see more research into the genetic causes of autism, which she says could help spur early interventions. ASAN vigorously opposes this, however. We do not believe that any autistic person needs to be cured, the organization's website says. This includes autistic people with highest support needs. Autistic people with the highest support needs are some of the most vulnerable members of our community. They deserve good lives with the right to make their own decisions, and yet another round cures what will work. An often blunt speaker, Singer has become a leading lightning rod in the emotional debate in which she says she had been threatened and denounced as an ableist and worse. It hasn't deterred her activism. Autism can be an identity or way of being for some, but for others, it's a debilitating medical condition, she says. Nothing about us without us. Horrific history predates ASN's perspective. Less than 100 years ago, the American Journal of Psychiatry published a debate on the merits of using euthanasia for feeble-minded people. In the 1980s, autistic Americans were still being shut away in overcrowded, unsanitary, and abusive institutions such as Willowbrook State School in Staten Island. In 1993, the autistic self-advocate Jim Sinclair's landmark essay, Don't Mourn for Us, advised parents of autistic children who pray for a cure to let go of their grief over the loss of a fantasized normal child. Sinclair helped pioneer neurodiversity activism, including the demand that people with autism have input into the decision about scientific research and policy. ASAN's motto is nothing about us without us. The civil rights battle has brought progress and understanding, although at some cost. Some scientists have declined opportunities to speak about autism for fear of being heckled for using terms such as risk, problem behavior, and symptoms, which some advocates call offensive. Parents speaking about their Parents speaking about their struggles have been branded mommy martyrs, Singer showed, and Washington Post several threatening texts she says she received. At the same time, ASAN's Bascom says her organization has received bomb threats and won't print its physical address because of security concerns. That's insane. Parents, including Leary and Singer, insist that while they respect the achievements of autistic adults able to advocate for themselves, they need to speak on behalf of children unable to do so. Leary's firstborn son, David, who was born with autism and a rare genetic condition, suffered epileptic seizures, couldn't speak, and often banged his head on the floor. Does that sound familiar, Kirk? He was treated for behavioral problems at the Kennedy Krieger Institute in Baltimore before his death at the age of 12. That's so sad. Which was believed to be due to a seizure. I felt like I was failing because other kids I knew were getting better and he was getting worse, his mother says. Then I saw 15 other kids in his unit just like him, and I realized this is something other people don't even know about. We need services to cover these children as well as others. Julie Greenan, a nurse from Buffalo, met Leary a decade ago at the Kennedy Krieger Institute, where Greenan's son Sam, then 11, was also being treated for behavioral issues, including kicking, scratching, and biting himself and others. Greenan was an unusual perspective in the all 5 of their children and had been diagnosed with autism. Yet they have a range of abilities and needs. November 21st, Sam is living in a group home while her oldest at 24 is a college graduate with a job in the chosen field of musical theater. Greenan blames the 2013 change in diagnostic rules for the discord in the autism community. Before that, we didn't have to fight each other about who gets services, she said. Saying there can't be different levels of autism is like saying other people's experiences don't matter. Many parents of children like Greenan's son, Sam, who she says can't be violent or self-injurious and needs 24/7 supervision, say they desperately need more specialized services, including long-term housing options. ASN insists that autistic people should be able to live in the same places as non-disabled people instead of restrictive institutions. Yet other observers say the small-scale community-based formula is failing because of a lack of resources and staff. Some 656,000 Americans, most with intellectual and developmental disabilities, were on a wait list for state-paid home and community-based services in 2021. I believe JJ was on one of those, right? According
Yep.
to a KFF and emergency department visits and long hospital stays by people with severe autism skyrocketed between 2009 and 2014, as Kaiser Health News has reported. A lot of people with profound autism in the acute psychiatric and behavioral crisis wouldn't be in this position if there were significant, high-quality, dignified, well-staffed, and well-run residential facilities and congregate living options across the United States, says Lee Wachtel, medical director of Neurobehavioral Unit in Kennedy Krieger Institute. She said the institute has a wait list of 150 names long in its inpatient treatment program. Parsing profound autism. The term profound autism was proposed in 2021 by the Lancet Commission in the Future of Care and Clinical Research in Autism, which specified traits including a substantial intellectual disability such as IQ below 50 and very limited language, example, limited ability to communicate to a stranger using comprehensible sentences. It came from a concern that there are a lot of people who need help and are getting lost in the shuffle, says Catherine Lord, the report lead author and psychiatry professor at UCLA School of Medicine. 10 years after the autism was presented as a spectrum, reestablishing a category for more severely impaired people might help earmark resources for people unable to care for themselves, Lord adds. Yet she concedes that the backlash following her report surprised her. Steve Silberman, author of Neurotribes, The Legacy of Autism and Future of Neurodiversity, summed up the objections in an interview. Profound autism may seem like useful shorthand for parents struggling with their children's behavior, but it raises more questions than it answers, he says. These debates are unfolding as if a child who receives the profound autism label might not be deemed as having mild autism after receiving better support and accommodations. That's interesting. A case in point is the...
What does that mean?
Well, I guess he's saying that there's some people, if you're not labeled profound autism and you still need the resources, you're going to lose the resources, I guess. I'll read it again.
What a weird way to view things.
Profound,
It's not like everybody needs the same services. Everybody needs different things.
That's right.
The fact that he can write a book about it means that he can advocate for himself, whereas other people can't write at all. Whatever. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I'll read it again. He says, these debates are unfolding as if a child who receives the profound autism label might not be deemed as having mild autism after receiving better support and accommodations. I'm not sure what that means. A case in point is the celebrated animal behavior expert Temple Grandin, who didn't speak until she was 3.5 years old. Instead, she screamed, hammered, and threw tantrums. Much later, she explained that she had acted out because her petticoats itched and scratched. Grandin's website now says, "It's like a logical way that I think, and I do not want to be cured." Um, almost done, I think. Yes. Am I? Yes.
With life or this article?
Well,
Continue.
both. Bascon characterizes the controversies as a result of a power shift. For many, many years, autism and advocacy was dominated by non-autistic voices, and they could say whatever they wanted about autistic people without any pushback, she wrote. Now autistic people have pushed ourselves into many of these conversations and are talking back. People in power often experiences that sort of dynamic as uncivil. Others worry about potential fallout from the charged conversation. A toxic competition may discourage members of Congress considering the Autism Cares Act, says Craig Snyder, a lobbyist for Singers Foundation and supporters. Federal support for autism is already limited, with $369.7 million in annual Autism Cares funding versus $7.8 billion to the National Cancer Institute alone, and $28 billion annually to HIV. And the adult self-advocates and parents groups have conflicting goals. Whatever position the legislators take, some will applaud and others will loudly and vigorously oppose them, Snyder says. So what could well happen is there will be no major changes in the act, but rather minor tweaks. They'll follow the path of political least resistance. Stanford University's undergraduate Lacey Cross Wallace was diagnosed with autism at age 18 after what she has described as years of out-of-control anxiety, obsessions, compulsions, and failed treatment, including nearly a year of hospitalization before enrolling in college. While she depicts her diagnosis as revelatory and says she plans to study psychology after graduating, she says she won't focus on autism because I just don't have the stomach for it. Wallace has criticized the black and white thinking she sees in neurodiversity movement and calls on advocacy groups, clinicians, providers, and researchers to denounce anti-parent bullying and other harassment. It's really frustrating that people are getting so worked up with their terminology when there are so many real problems to deal with, she says. You'd think the common diagnosis should have people supporting each other, but people are tearing each other apart. So, Kirk, what do you think, pal?
I think it was long.
Yep. Yeah, but I really
well,
did it, though. I think
you
I
did it,
crushed
buddy.
that.
You did no mistakes. No mistakes.
Yeah.
Great job. Great job. Well, I'm on the side of the people who are trying to advocate for the disabled kids who do not speak for themselves. To me, that's the real threshold. And so, and if these people that are like nothing for us without us, well, that's great for you to speak for yourself. But unless you're going to take time to come sit with my son and actually understand his needs, how do you plan on speaking for him? So,
Yeah.
who's speaking for him again? Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
people that know him. So his family. So
There-
to me, it's obvious.
As the more we learn about autism, the more it's apparent to me that someone who goes to college and gets a job and has trouble with bright lights and
eye contact. Yeah.
is not the same as someone who can't speak.
Who poops himself until they're
Poops
11
himself.
or whatever.
It's not the same. So we need a different word, and we need a different diagnosis, and it's completely different. Sure,
and they
it's
need
maybe,
different services.
Look, schizophrenia is the same as OCD, sort of, but they're different. They're called different things. We just need a different word because these people who are neurodivergent, high functioning, they should feel like they need to fight for equality and for people to accept them, because once they are accepted, it's proven that they can function in society, and they can get jobs and be and help and contribute to society, very, in a not
Meaningful
only
way.
like
I
a
agree.
financial tax sense, but also in a sense where they don't need help, they can help themselves. So it's completely different, and they have no business trying to represent someone who needs 24/7 care. My brother needs not 24/7 care, but he needs 24/7 monitoring. He broke his foot. He did not have the mental capacity to call an ambulance himself with a cell phone in his pocket. He's 39 years old. People had to walk by him. And finally someone was like, "Are you okay?" And then they figured out, after talking to him, that he has a disability and they called an ambulance for him because he has a disability. So you want people to walk by and go, "Figure it out for yourself." Is that what you want? Figure it out for yourself. You don't have a disability.
You should know how to do this.
You should know how to do this. It's like you do. Okay, I don't. When I do my show about autism, I'm not talking about you, and you have no business talking about me or my brother, because you don't know. You don't know, and I'm angry.
Unless you want to come, you want to come and spend time with Peter, and then get to know him, and then you get to speak for him as somebody in his life, and you know what you might call somebody's life, his family. Those are the people that speak for him. It's like, duh.
No, you don't get to speak to him unless you're going to give up your dream and move to Ottawa to take care of him when my parents die. If you're going to do that, then you can talk. So shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up. Because you have no idea what you're talking about. Is your son in Sweden? Is your son in Sweden? Because there's not enough services here. Like, shut up.
Crazy.
Anyway.
We got Graham on a hot take here. Got him angry.
I'm hot.
We got one hip Graham angry, all stirred up, all shook
back
up.
sore. Drove too long. My back's all wrangled up. Yeah. My car might be too small for long drives, Kirk. You might have been right, pal.
I think you knew that from the very beginning. You could have saved yourself $10,000 about a Honda or Toyota, but you didn't want it. A Mazda would have been better.
Oh, my back still would have hurt in a Honda or a Toyota.
Depends how big. They make big Toyotas.
I got enough. I got the same amount of legroom in that car than I would in a Toyota or Honda. Okay, it's like I would need a.
Sounds like it's user error. Then it's you. It's you. They make the Toyota SUVs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Guys, as always, we appreciate your feedback. As I said last week, we're looking for interviews. So if you've got people that you think we should be included, authors of different books and things going on, reach out to us. I'm at kirksmithcomedy@gmail.com. Also, you would do me a big favor. I'm trying to get to 10,000 Facebook fans so that they will show my videos. So that's Kirk Smith Comedy as well. And add me on the good old YouTube. That'd help too if you do. I find some people use YouTube more than Facebook or vice versa. So if you use them both, great. If not, one would be terrific. Kirk Smith Comedy. Grandma, what's your stuff going on?
My stuff is at Mr. Graham K on Instagram. And you could follow me at youtube.com/Graham K Comedy. And I'm tour dates coming up on my website at grahamk.com. I'm opening for Nate Bargatze in Ohio a couple weeks or this weekend, and doing some stuff. I'm out and about.
That's it. Guys, have a great week. You can do it. It's a long one.